and become a Piece of the Pie Rewards member to earn points toward free pizza.
On last night's episode.
I'm sorry, yeah. That was stupid of me. That was stupid of me. But no, let's talk about this before, because I love me some wrestling. I think I've been showing it very much that I have different interests, not just always gaming. I think I've been able to really show it, and I'm thankful that little to anybody is watching, because it's really interesting to see that people are actually sitting through at least a few minutes of my videos just to simply hear what I have to say. And let me be honest when I say this. Sorry for the ads. Sorry for the ad. I started recording. I thought it would just start, and I was being stupid. I don't know why. But I want Finn Balor to win. I think this is obvious. I've already stated that Finn Balor is my favorite WWE wrestler. And if I've never explained why, I can run it down very quickly why. Finn Balor's character, a serious Finn Balor to me, can be the absolute best, like legitimately one of the best guys we can have for a good while. Like, put it like this, Roman Reigns really has a lot going for him at the moment. I think this is a lot of people, I don't know if they really paid attention to the whole thing with John Cena, the whole thing that they went back and forth. What happens to Roman after he loses the title? He takes that, almost probably year break, comes back, and nothing really changes because there's nothing really to do with Roman unless Roman has to pick up a new gimmick, or he can try to still be the tribal chief, but just with no title, which kind of seems awkward to say. This is where it comes a problem when you're only good because of the title. Is Roman only good because of the title? No, it's just because we known him like this. I think one thing that would have been great for the WWE is the tribal chief gimmick before he became Universal Champion. Then it would have had it where it would have been fine because we were used to him not being Universal Champion, that him being Universal Champion, it fits so well also. But because they did it right as him becoming Universal Champion, or during his reign, that's how we're always going to see it. And with him without it, just feels awkward. But Finn Balor, on the other hand, can be the prince with the Universal Championship and without it. He can be this guy that just is not going to be playing around anymore. No real smiles around here. And it makes more sense because here, let's be real. He's beating John Cena. He's going to beat John Cena. He's going to beat The Rock. And I think Finn Balor should be the guy to take the title from him. If they're not giving it to The Fiend, then it should go to Finn Balor. Because I originally thought The Fiend was going to be the one to do it, which made sense. But giving it to Finn Balor, I think that's a task that Finn Balor can handle. He'd be earning his second Universal title win, and I'm pretty sure this time he should be able to actually hold it for at least a good 4 months. And when I say 4, I would say almost a year worth of him being champion, and that's just the test run of him, almost a year. But let's hear what our favorite, literally one of my favorite people to watch, have to say.
Episode of SmackDown, Roman Reigns informed the WWE Universe that he denied John Cena's request for the SummerSlam Championship match.
I'm sorry, this is late, by the way. I have a late reaction to it. I'm sorry, let me show you to prove that I have a late reaction for the people who probably didn't know. This was 3 weeks ago. I was late to the party. I said I was going to make a video on it, and I forgot to. So I was like, I haven't made it in like 4 hours now. And right now my phone is doing auto mode for King of Fighters All-Stars, trying to grind up some stuff before I go back on recording of things. Leveling up characters basically right now. So we'll see what happens for that, but yeah, we're going to be doing this for a little bit.
And that is when Finn Balor shocked everyone by coming out to the ring by himself, and he then made his own challenge to Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship. This was definitely an interesting move by WWE because I personally did not expect it to happen whatsoever.
Me either.
However, the more I think about it, the more that I start to believe that Finn Balor should be the one to defeat Roman Reigns for his title. He should be the one who dethrones the tribal chief. That may shock many of you, but I actually think it's the best possible choice.
Can't forget about that.
Before I do make the
I was
argument
just thinking
for
about
Finn
that,
Balor
too.
and tell you my reasons behind it, let's take a look at some other options that could honestly, realistically defeat Roman Reigns. I've come up with a total of 3 people that could get the job done. Mr. Money in the Bank is clearly an obvious choice. Big E has the opportunity of a lifetime because he can cash in his briefcase whenever he...
I think the only reason I don't see him doing it is because of one in particular thing. And this is what I have to say. I think this is a mixed thing. This is more of a it could, but it probably won't. Is this. Big E's character is pretty much jokey, but can be serious. And he's proven when he's serious that he can be, an actual opponent for some people. But I think the sad news is that he's not going for the Intercontinental Championship because I would prefer someone cashing in for the Intercontinental Championship than Shinsuke Nakamura winning it. The only reason is because I think it would have been nice just for Big E to be Intercontinental champion, just a tad bit longer and able to run down, being, jokey and serious at the same time. Things like that. Expand more on the character. Because I just think that would have been nice for me personally. I like Big E. Never really had a problem with the guy. I just wanted him to be able to balance the two of serious and joking. Because he can do it. Like, he can come out and make funny promos about how short his opponent is, how his feet are small, he doesn't like cupcakes or pancakes, and then be serious about how he'll beat him this Sunday and how he won't be able to do nothing about it. Like, he can do that. Like, Biggie can his character and everything he does, he can really pull that off in the same segment. But I think they need to once again give it time for it. You have to do this before you give them the boost, in my personal opinion. And this is one little thing I have with WWE. I think they should give wrestlers, if they're going to move their characters from what they normally are to something else, I think you should have a mix of the two to gauge the reaction, where it's not too much first, but it's enough to say, okay, that was pretty nice. That was pretty nice. Okay, I like that. Okay, I wish he was a little bit more like that. Once you hear a lot of them say, I wish he was a little bit more, I wish they would do a little bit more of this, then it's time you can send it almost any day from that point on. But that's just me.
He wants for a shot at that Universal title. I don't think it should be him though. I have a much better idea for Big E and his Money in the Bank briefcase. Brock Lesnar and Bobby Lashley should have a WWE title match.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Future, and Brock Lesnar should shockingly win that match, becoming the new champion. This will attract some heat, and the fans would not like the idea of Brock Lesnar becoming a part-time champion again. However, Big E will not allow this to happen. He's sick and tired of this part-time beast coming and going with the WWE Championship, and so he sets out a challenge for Brock Lesnar and his WWE title. Big E will pick up the victory against Brock Lesnar, becoming the new WWE Champion, and I think this is the right call because a win over Brock Lesnar would really solidify him as a main event star.
Okay, I can agree with that. I actually like that. That's actually a really good idea. Really good idea. Rushing it? No. I mean, it's not too much into rushing, but I understand.
And it would be a nice story considering the squash match between Brock Lesnar and one of Big E's best friends, his brother.
I remember.
Actually, that's what he considers him, Kofi Kingston. I'd love to see Big E get some vengeance for his friend, and this booking accomplishes so many different things. I think it's the right call in my opinion, and that is how I would book that. So that's why I don't want to see Big E cash in on Roman.
Who is she? She comes to get you when the time is up this Friday. Choose vengeance.
It's my tablet. It's so weird.
Protege, this Friday. guitar.
I'm a tablet, bro.
Roman Reigns. Another name that's been in the discussion of defeating Roman Reigns is Drew McIntyre.
Okay, this one I think is the biggest, most obvious one that if WWE didn't go with the Fiend, it would go. It was going to be him. I think. Let's be honest. A lot of people, if Finn Balor wasn't ever going to come back, or wasn't coming back as soon as he did, I think we all would have said either him or Seth Rollins or the Fiend. That's what would been my three picks if you would have been honest. I would really give it to Seth. Would I really give the Universal Championship to Seth right now? No. Would I? I don't know, because if I had any say so in this, would I really give it to? Because Big E, strong contender, but what he just stated was much better. Uh, let's see what he has to say, because I think Drew McIntyre is a very good pick. What I think is probably a lot of people's number one.
And this one also makes a ton of sense. Both men are arguably the two hottest stars in the company right now that are full-time wrestlers. They're also relatively young, which means that they will be a part of the WWE for the years to come. McIntyre and Roman Reigns even had a feud last Survivor Series, which was really good. The promos were top-notch, and the wrestling match was one of the best of 2020, at least in my opinion. I would not be mad if Drew McIntyre was the one to beat Roman Reigns, honestly. It could be a cool comeback story, because after that loss to Roman Reigns, Drew's career went to shit. Let's be real, beating him would get him back on the right track. You see, that is a good story to tell. However,
Storytelling reasons, yes. And also, Roman Reigns does need a eventual break from the tribal chief thing, and I think we all kind of need a little bit, because I think one problem that WWE has is the amount of what we get is never really, how do you put it, in a good category. It's like you want the Fiend, you got him. Not every day though. Okay, that's fine. But then it goes after a while, after we misses him so much, then he's gone, and it's like, okay, wait a minute. Why is he gone? I wanted more of the Fiend. I wanted him to come back and slap Roman or attack Alexa Bliss for all I care. Do something. No, don't do that. Please don't do that.
didn't want to see it because I think Drew McIntyre is already a main event star player, and a win over Roman Reigns is not needed for him. He's already defeated future Hall of Famers like Brock Lesnar, Seth Rollins, Bobby Lashley, and Randy Orton. It's very clear that he does not need this victory whatsoever. You can do whatever you want with him. You can put him in the main event title picture, and it wouldn't matter. The last person that could realistically be the one that's chosen to beat Roman Reigns is The Fiend. Bray Wyatt is another name of someone whose career went straight to the toilet after SummerSlam because of Roman Reigns. That's when Roman came back, beat the crap out of him, and then took his title 1 week later at Backlash, which let's not all forget about that because it was stupid having a pay-per-view 1 week after SummerSlam. Anyways, it was so embarrassing that the WWE had to even move The Fiend over from SmackDown to Raw. I think there's a strong story to tell right there. WWE...
We all knew it. We all knew it, though.
You could really explain how The Fiend just started to get momentum in the WWE before Roman Reigns just ruined his career
But he's
again.
fired, though.
That's right, he's done it in the past, and he will do it again like he did. That's when Bray Wyatt becomes obsessed with Roman Reigns to the point where he needs to beat him. Similar to the other two wrestlers, this would be a fine choice, and I wouldn't complain about it at all if he got the job done. I just also don't prefer this. If it was up to me, it would be Finn Balor. And I gotta clarify this, I don't mean it should happen anytime soon. Even though their match is coming up within the next couple of weeks, whenever that may be, that does not mean he should win it immediately. Finn Balor is most likely going to lose that match with or without any shenanigans, and that's completely fine. You guys already know I don't think wins and losses really matter. WWE is whatever. Roman Reigns needs to wrestle John Cena, Seth Rollins, Brock Lesnar, and The Rock before his title reign comes to an end.
Yeah, I can agree with that. He has so much more to prove. Let me not say prove. He's already proven that he's a legitimate champion. It's just that he needs a little bit more matches that we kind of want to see. Brock Lesnar is a big one, like a very, very big one that goes way past Bobby Lashley even. And it's funny because how long we wanted to see what's her name versus Bobby Lashley. How long we wanted to see it, Brock Lesnar versus Bobby Lashley. But as soon as he would come back, we would want to see him versus Roman Reigns though. So it's like, because I think the story would be better than trying to maybe force Bobby Lashley to seem like a legitimate threat to Brock, which he's not. I'm sorry. I would love for him to be, but he's not in this situation. And then let's be real. Let's be real. John Cena, the entire thing with John Cena at the moment, it's nice. It's not the greatest of all of them. It's really not. This is literally the rematch that people want to see because of Roman Reigns' new gimmick. Let's be real. If Roman Reigns legit was still the big dog, Roman Reigns believe that, type stuff, then let's be real. Who would have cared to see the part two to John Cena and Roman Reigns? Who would have really cared? Who would have honestly cared? You want me to tell you who? Nobody. Want me to tell you why? Because no one has a reason to care about a match that we know the outcome of. The storytelling could be perfect as can be. It wasn't going to fix that. No one cares that the match was going to go that way. But because the Tribal Chief gimmick, that makes it more interesting. That makes stuff... when it comes to gimmicks, that makes everything just a tad bit more interesting. And let's get started with the big one, The Rock. I know this one is probably going to be his last one before being dethroned. And I'm glad that they saved the loss from Finn Balor, because I think, let's be real, if Finn Balor would have already lost one time to Roman without shenanigans, because oh my gosh, they need something to stop Finn Balor, because I want Finn Balor to be the reason that he almost lost that darn title. I would love for it to be like the closest of everybody, and the only reason he lost was because of, let's say, Jimmy and Jay, Paul Heyman, I don't know, whoever else would join the ranks with Roman, whoever else. Bring someone back, have an epic return for someone to team up with Roman, future wise, anything like that. I would love for that to happen, because I think Finn is not only an established star, but a star who's proven that he can hang with the best of them. Just need to be able to just be given that. His time in NXT really showed, going back to NXT and coming back to SmackDown really cemented how he was going to be. So, yeah.
And there's just so much more that needs to be accomplished before Roman Reigns does indeed lose that title. His Universal Championship reign should last up until next year. Honestly, maybe even WrestleMania 39. That could be the perfect destination for when he eventually does lose it. And Finn Balor should be the one who wins that match, and I owe it to you to explain why I think this. There are so many reasons why Finn Balor should win that match, but the biggest one is because I think he's the right guy that can connect with an audience. While many people don't believe Finn Balor has charisma, he does. His run in NXT proved that in the last 2 years. When he's given that microphone with some freedom, he's one of the toughest and most badass promo you can get. He's different from everyone else in the sense that he kind of treats this like a legitimate sport, and I kind of like that. Finn Balor is perfect for that role. Other than that, he also did exceptionally well when he was a Demon King. Finn Balor captivated the WWE Universe with that gimmick. A lot of people loved it. People loved it so much that he became a top merchandise seller. Finn Balor is one of those guys that fans will always love. Another reason why it would be perfect is that WWE can actually sign Conor McGregor to be in his corner. Imagine that exposure that WWE would get if they got Conor McGregor to show up at WrestleMania supporting his Irish lad. That would be huge. That would be money-making stuff. WWE should even look to throw a punch that knocks out Roman Reigns before Finn Balor gets to the top turnbuckle and hits the coup de grace. Imagine that thunderous pop at WrestleMania.
Don't get me wrong, as cool as I think this is where I'm going to step in, I'm going to disagree with you on this one. This will be one of the few times I disagree with you for only one reason. Because of Finn Balor's character, I don't really see him accepting Connor's help unless he didn't know Connor helped. I think that'd be the only way. Unless I feel like, because looking at how the whole thing with the Undisputed Era thing worked with him, I don't see him wanting Connor's help. Maybe as a cool entrance, maybe to get the license to be able to use, I don't know, Conor McGregor's entrance mixed with his own in some type of weird mesh of the two. And you want to make it worse, just want to make it really have that big moment, that big pop. Give Becky Lynch a chance to just come back. Like, just have all three of them. Just have like this cool little thing, if you really want to do that. But to be honest with you, I don't really see that in particular part happening. I think at best we could get, not what I just mentioned, but what he mentioned about like him being in the corner, maybe him interfering. No, that's at best, and that's also chancing it. Personally, I don't want to see it. I just think it would be one of those cool things, like, okay, I can see it happening, but I don't really think it would be the best for Finn. I think Finn soloing, like, not only the tribal chief, but also like the family too, like the entire bloodline. Like, yeah, stuff like that would be cool. That would be cool. But Connor getting there and kind of messing with what's the name, and delivering one good kick or punch to what's the name, no, because then I already see where that's gonna go. I already see where that's going. Let me tell you where that's going. It's gonna probably be like whenever if they don't give Roman a break, he's probably gonna be coming back immediately, looking for Connor, trying to hurt Connor because that's the reason that he's mad. Then trying to go off the fence. Unless the sucker's actually going to start wrestling now. I don't care. I don't care. But no, I don't fully agree, but I partly agree. I don't fully just think, yeah, he should do this. I think this would be more of a cool fantasy thing, and probably something we do with like the action figures, and even with the with the video game and other people who are very good with editing. I think that's what that would be more for than less of a, oh yeah, this should for sure happen.
Mania, with Conor McGregor punching Roman Reigns when the referee's down, and then the coup de grace, and then 1, 2, 3, and we got a new champion. That would be a huge pop culture moment that a lot of people would talk about in the WWE and outside of it, like on ESPN and whatnots.
So once again, for character-wise, no. For what you just stated-wise, of course, but not character-wise.
Not only does Finn Balor have a clear connection with the audience, but he's the perfect person to pair with Conor McGregor. The third reason is that I think it would tell a wonderful redemption story, because as we all know, Finn Balor experienced quick success on the main roster, but unfortunately he failed and fell right on his face. And WWE will be able to tell the story where he worked his ass off, went back to his roots at NXT, and eventually made his way all the way back at the top of the WWE mountain. And it's possible for anyone else to do the same in whatever field or problems they have. That could be a tale that could click with many people because it's a relatable story. Finn Balor also has a good look of a world champion in WWE.
Oh, yeah.
He's got a great physique and he can deliver good matches left and right. I honestly feel like he could be a cornerstone for WWE for the next 5 years.
Oh,
Finn
yeah.
Balor may be 40
For
years
sure,
old
for
right
sure.
now, but he's in the prime of his career, and the Prince is aging like absolute fine wine. He'll be good for another 5 or 6 years. WWE would be wise to pull the trigger. Finn Balor should be the one to defeat Roman Reigns at WrestleMania with Conor McGregor in his corner.
Okay,
that would be quite the moment, and that's what I believe. Anyways, that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope y'all enjoyed. If you did, please...
Yeah, just sit on that. I like it. I like the idea. My man. Conor McGregor one kind of is a big turn off to me, I ain't gonna lie, because I don't see it being like the big thing that happens. Like don't get me wrong, do not get me wrong. If we were talking about a different Finn Balor, if we were talking about the old Finn Balor that was always smiling and everything, I could see him like getting wobbled and or something, like getting hurt. and then Connor having to get in to do like a really cool UFC move. Oh, not UFC. Oh my goodness, a good MMA move that looks like he legitimately hurt him. Because I wouldn't want it to look obviously fake. I would want it to make it seem like he really legitimately hurt Roman. Why? Because of only one reason. I think it'd be good for McGregor. Personally, I just think that. But no, overall, with this character, I don't see it being the thing that happens. I kind of don't want it to be. Becky Lynch would be a better option, in my personal opinion. I'd rather Becky Lynch kick Roman in the dick than Connor even being in the ring. I'm sorry. But I understand for what he just said. For the reason he said, understandable, but not for the, not, no. Nah. Nobody, nope. Did I say no? I'm going to say no one more time. No!